Hey Outsiders, it's Mike from Outside Chronicles, and I think I found the best pot solution for my MSR Whisperlite stove. And spoiler alert, it's a Jetboil. I searched all over the place for a pot that was big enough to nest the MSR Whisperlite International Universal version. These versions are an upgrade from the standard version because it's got a nicer pot stand with these serrated edges, larger feet, and also a longer hose. But that also makes it a challenge to be able to nest inside of a pot. But I think I came up with 3 viable options. So to come up with the solutions, I had to put my local gear shop, Gear for Adventure, through the ringer. And they brought me every pot they had, from Tokes, MSR, Jetboil, everything. And we tried each one to be able to nest this stove. And we actually found a solution. It's the MSR Titan 2-pot set. The large pot in there has a big enough diameter of bigger than 6 1/4 inches to actually nest this stove inside of it. The only problem is it's a very expensive set. It's $160. So now, knowing I had the right diameter, I went out searching on the internet for various options and found out that not necessarily a larger volume means a bigger diameter. In a lot of the pots, the diameter of the lid stays the same. They just make them a little bit deeper to get more volume. But I did find a video showing the MSR International version of the stove nesting inside of this MSR Alpine Stowaway Pot. And then I found the Jetboil 1.5 liter ceramic pot online and read the specs, and they seemed right, but I wasn't 100% sure. And come to find out, my local gear shop had this version at their other store. They were nice enough to bring it to me locally, and I took my stove and tried it out, and sure enough, it does nest inside of here. Out of the 3 options, I eliminated that MSR Titan 2-pot set. It's the lightest option, it's made out of titanium, but I just couldn't justify paying $160 for a cook pot. Then I looked at the MSR Alpine Stowaway Pot. It's the least expensive option. It's $25. It's made out of stainless steel, so it's super durable, super rugged. You can put it right into the fire. It nests the MSR Whisperlite stove very easily. It has this great snap-down handle, but it being stainless steel, it's also the heaviest option at 15.5 ounces. But its footprint is kind of small compared to the Jetboil. And just a quick note, if you're finding this video useful, consider clicking that like button. It really does help this video and my channel quite a bit. And finally, I took a look at the Jetboil 1.5 liter ceramic cook pot. It easily nests the MSR Whisperlite, and it's kind of middle of the road for pricing at $65. It's also middle of the road for weight. It's 3 ounces lighter than the Stowaway cook pot and comes in at 12.5 ounces. But it's not as light as the MSR Titan titanium pot. It's also a little bit bigger footprint-wise. You can see the difference between the MSR Stowaway and the Jetboil. It's also going to be a little bit bigger than the MSR Titan cook pot because it has this Jetboil flux ring technology on the bottom. Like the Stowaway pot, it's got this great snap-down pot handle. It's got a plastic lid with holes in it so you can actually strain water. And the nicest feature is the inside is coated in ceramic. So it's a non-stick surface and makes cleanup a snap. So feature for feature, these pots in my opinion are pretty close. But I wanted to do a little bit more testing specifically with the Jetboil to see if the flux ring technology on top of the MSR stove actually made it more efficient. So I went into my garage and did a bunch of tests, and it's important to note it was about 20 degrees outside when I was running these tests. So the first test was the Whisperlite with the Jetboil ceramic pot and 1 liter of water. And its boil time was 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Then I tested the MSR Stowaway pot with 1 liter of water with the Whisperlite stove, and its boil time was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So between these 2 pots, the Jetboil was the clear winner, nearly 2 minutes faster to boil a liter of water. But then I wanted to see how this pot actually compared to a standard Jetboil in those conditions. First up was my Jetboil Minimo, and it's important to note that the MSR IsoPro gas canister was in my house just prior to this test. It was able to boil 24 ounces of water in 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Then I put 24 ounces of water in my Jetboil Ceramic Pot and put that on top of the Whisperlite stove. And it was able to boil in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. And just for the heck of it, I repeated the Jetboil Minimo test after the gas canister was sitting outside in the cold temperatures for like 25-30 minutes. And no surprise there, it lost a lot of fuel efficiency, and it took 5 minutes and 13 seconds to boil that same 24 ounces of water. So that's why it's always important in winter to switch to something like the Whisperlite with liquid gas. So there you go. 2 great options for nesting the MSR Whisperlite stove. For me, I'm gonna go with the Jetboil Ceramic Cook Pot. The added efficiency of the flux ring and the lighter weight make it a no-brainer for me. But let me know what you think. Would you go with the MSR Alpine Stowaway? Would you go with the Jetboil Ceramic Pot? Or am I putting too much emphasis on nesting the Whisperlite stove inside of the pots, and I should just go with a lightweight Toaks titanium pot? Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you guys outside.